happened. It's fucking happened. Do what you want. We can either leave it or we can just let it happen. It's fucking started.
Oh God!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhapsody, I suppose. As you can tell, we're recording slightly earlier than usual. Ryan's still half asleep.
Yep.
Callum's woken up a bit more. Sam's been all right, and I'm having my breakfast, so that's a bit of fun for everyone. How has everyone's May been?
Was it May? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know.
My feed was bullshit this month, so that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what else to tell you.
May happened. I think
this is going to be a very relaxed wrap up, I feel.
Very.
Yeah. Today we're going to be wrapping up everything that happened in May.
Everything.
Film and TV.
Okay, good.
Let's not go into politics.
Yeah.
That would be a very different podcast, and I don't quite enjoy making it as much. Go on, you can get it.
I'm going to turn it. I'm going to face this way.
Just keep looking off into the distance.
Oh, fuck me. May. What happened in May then? Who's got to do?
And there's one huge thing that Callum in particular did want to talk about. However, we should probably start. We always start with the film of the month.
Yeah.
Film of the month.
Do I leave that shit?
I got my face in the little thing as I was doing that. Decided to stop. That was nice. But the film of the month is, well, it's an odd one because the film of the month is technically Scoob.
Yep.
But we can't get it in the UK, according to Sam. And I had a quick look as well. Couldn't get it. So,
can it therefore be film of the month?
I mean, we've
probably not.
Got relatively small choices.
No, that is film of the month.
Film of the month is the Tenet trailer, then, isn't it? I did watch the first 5 minutes of Scoob.
That'll do. We'll do that. What's it like, Callum? Any good?
Terrible.
How did you get the first 5 minutes? What was
it's
that
on YouTube.
Oh, I see.
They did it as an advertising campaign. I was sat there watching it, absolutely gobsmacked, mouth open wide. My brother was looking in the other direction playing FIFA at the time. And at one point he turned to me and he said, "What the fuck are you watching? It sounds terrible." And I was like, "It is terrible." It's really, really, really bad. Really bad. Hog shit.
Brilliant.
Dog
summary.
Scoob shit. So it begins on the boardwalk in Santa Monica. I think it's Santa Monica Beach or something similar.
Is it meant to be Coolsville?
Yeah, probably.
That's where they live.
Yeah, most definitely. And it literally starts in a kebab shop. Scoob steals a whole bit of rotunding meat.
I mean, that's classic Scooby-Doo. So far,
yeah, he loves meat that turns.
He's a young Scoob at this point, little Scoob, right?
Tiny Scoob.
And he's running away with the meat, and the guy's chasing him, and all of a sudden this police officer's chasing him as well on a bike. And he's like, "Oh!" And then
does he run down one road this way and then another road this way in the distance?
I wish it was that clever, David. I wish it was that clever. Then all of a sudden, cut to little Shaggy walking down the street, listening to a podcast about how to make friends, right? And it's like, and I think at one point he literally says out loud, "I don't have any friends," or something like that. In my mind, it's that bad. That
is it genuinely a podcast? Is it?
Mate, it's set now. Like the people are on mobile phones and shit.
But they're young.
Yeah. So it stands to reason that when they're older, it's in the future. But I haven't seen that far ahead. Yeah.
That's when the Jetsons get involved. That's what they've done. They've been clever. That's how they incorporate the Jetsons. They go into the future.
And then what happens? So then Shaggy then tries to like befriend some people, but he can't do it. He's too nervous. And then he sits
Then
on
he
his own.
discovers drugs. And that calms him down. And he can make friends.
Yeah. He then sits on the beach on his own. Little does he know that Scooby is hiding behind this big sand castle, which he sat right next to. And then eventually Scooby pops out and Shaggy goes, "Oh, do you want a bite of my sandwich or something?" And it's like dog shit. The sandwich is awful. So instead, Scooby brings out this big bit of meat and they're like, "Hey!" And they start eating the meat together. And then the police officer comes up to him and goes, "That dog needs to go to the pound. It's a little bastard." And Shaggy goes, "No, you can't. It's my dog." And he's like, "Oh, if it's your dog, what's its name?" And then he looks down and sees Scooby Snacks. And he's like, "Scooby."
So he brought the Scooby Snacks with him.
I think he had the Scooby Snacks with him, yeah.
Well, it's implied that he eats them anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, the joke is that he doesn't call it Scooby. He calls it whatever else. Yeah, Snacks. Yeah, he calls him Snacks. And then he's like, "What?" And says, "Scooby? What's his surname? Doobie?"
So in the Scooby-Doo universe, I always assumed that the Scooby Snacks were like
Yeah, I thought they were
named after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they were like a brand.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to sell merch.
Mystery
That's what I always
brand.
assumed that. Maybe I was wrong to assume that.
Well, I don't know.
Otherwise, the word Scooby makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I think they didn't think about anything. It seems like it was a Scooby-Doo movie made by people who don't know anything about Scooby-Doo or care.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making films for the youths of today.
Because youth love big meat circles. They love kebab.
Well, meat is going to be really sandy, isn't it?
Very sandy meat.
That's the first thing I thought of as well. I was like,
it's going to be disgusting.
The most sandy meat.
Roasted a kebab.
And what was that wrong about the sandwich? Like, what was awful about the sandwich? How bad can a sandwich be?
It had it did look pretty rank in fairness.
Like, unless it's like off or like covered in like actual dirt, like
probably has sand in it as well.
I just think it had like dog shit filling.
Actual dog shit.
Who's got a phone that keeps going off?
It's not me.
It's me. I'm afraid. I do apologise.
But
yeah.
Oh, and you're using your phone.
You're like a shitty beach
There's no
sandwich.
escape from it.
Any vibration is going to absolutely knock us out. In fact, I'll put it on silent. I'll do it. There you go.
I'm from that intro. I'm vaguely intrigued to see where the film just fucking goes.
Yeah.
I was excited initially when
happened?
Dastardly was the villain, but now I just don't give a shit.
So your verdict from the first 5 minutes is Jinkies.
Jinkies.
Yeah.
Absolute.
You lose your glasses on purpose so you can't fucking watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's have drugs instead. Just.
If you watched it on,
we're
drugs,
advocating the use of recreational drugs.
I'm gonna watch it on copious amounts of drugs.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you know for the June wrap up.
I think that's how it should be viewed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that was the intention all along.
Maybe.
Right. What's next on the agenda? Let's get away from
I think we should give Callum the chance to talk about his favourite piece of news, which is obviously the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
I was going to bring that up because it's pretty big news.
It is pretty
in terms of the industry.
Yeah. So talk about that a bit. The news being that sorry.
No, go on.
Well, the news is that the Justice League film from 2017 is officially getting a re-release as under the supervision.
Shuffle.
Yeah, under the supervision of Zack Snyder, and they've been given, I think it's $20 million.
Yeah.
To reshoots or re-records or new CG effects. Or
most of it is finishing off CG stuff.
They're going to be releasing it on HBO Max as a 4-part miniseries. I believe.
Oh.
So each one going to be
strange.
Or just be one film.
So
that's going to completely change the edit.
Well, yes, but it has worked before. So Netflix released Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight as a 4-part series.
Did he?
Mhm.
I swear when I watched it on Netflix, I just watched it.
Well, I mean, presumably, if you just let it run, it makes very little difference.
Okay, yeah.
But
maybe I didn't watch it on Netflix. I don't know.
Maybe that's a recent thing that Netflix have done.
Yeah, just release the actual thing.
I know that's how it's on there now.
Has it really come to that people can't watch a long film, so they have to break it up? Has that actually happened?
I think it's a marketing campaign on HBO Max's part to get more views in weekly.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, because that's going to be their big draw.
Yeah, because they announced HBO Max and then realised that all they had was Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Game of Thrones will go on it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones somewhat lost its appeal for a lot of people.
HBO have got loads of stuff they could put on there, sure, but there's no new stuff.
Yeah.
It's all old, historical, which everyone's got on DVD. Every HBO series, everyone's got on DVD anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
What would it come out here?
I think it's an odd one.
So we won't be getting HBO Max.
Probably not. No, we probably won't have access to
it.
Well, we don't get HBO.
Yeah.
Well,
they usually sell the rights to Sky.
Yeah, all our we get all that through Sky, so we probably won't. It's not even an option for us.
If we get it, we'll get it on Now TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be Now.
And it'll be a few extra things than normal. It won't be the same.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, doesn't matter if all that is going to be accessible is the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Shit.
Not missing out on much.
I think it's odd though. People are saying like it sets a dangerous precedent for the future of film and blah 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 blah. I've read that and I'm like, what? Director's cuts have existed for forever.
Yeah, but isn't a director's cut sort of brought about by like audience pressure? Which is slightly different. Most director cuts are just the director being a bit of a, bit of a dandy.
We don't know.
I think usually you're right. Like directors are just like, I
want to do this. I had a different idea, and it's usually like the end's a bit different, or there's a few things extra thrown in. This is like a complete redo.
Have they said it is because of the fans, or
it is? It is. Of course it is. Yeah, like the fans. Like
it's not like Snyder going.
I think it'd be very surprising if HBO just randomly decided, "Hey, you know what we could do?"
Yeah, I don't think Zack Snyder even thought about it. I think he probably was like, "Really?" I think he would have done it.
No one would have thought, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that," because the film is terrible. It's terrible, and I don't know what's going to improve it. It's terrible, and
it flopped at the box office
massively.
Yeah.
Because it was terrible.
It made a lot of money, but they pumped so much into it that they actually lost out.
Yeah.
And now they're pumping more. Dark Side is one of the first draws of the director's cut because he's going to be in it. Dark Side.
So that means pushing a whole new villain into it. Like, surely that's
going to be.
Well, it's probably going to be like long. They're probably going to really draw this out. It's probably going to be like 3 hours long.
Yeah, that's what we need. Make a bad film longer.
Yeah.
The director's cut of Batman vs Superman, I think they added 20 minutes.
Yeah, adding stuff, I understand. That's not really re-editing. You're just sort of adding stuff in that you cut out before you got to that edit. That's just going back.
That felt like they needed to add more to explain the bits they added.
Yeah. Because that's what usually director's cuts are usually either added extras or maybe an alternate scene now and again. That's quite rare, but that Blade Runner has alternate scenes up its arse. But usually it's just extra bits, which is fine.
Like
and sometimes it makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is it's just I don't get
it. This is a strange case though. This is probably the strangest case in cinema history because
it's never happened.
A director will leave a project because they're either arguing. So like Solo, for instance, it wasn't working with Phil and Lord and Chris, or fucking Wizard of Oz went through 3 different directors, whatever, because it wasn't working. It's happened throughout history. However, this is probably the first time I've ever heard of a director having to leave, despite the fact they really want to be on the project. It's their project, it's their baby.
Yeah,
they've had to leave for some really.
But also,
circumstance.
How different could have Joss Whedon made it?
Quite a lot.
I mean, sure, clearly, but how did that happen? It's the same script. The producers are the same. Everything was already set up. How much did he go? No, we're like, what happened?
Joss Whedon got a credit for script, I think.
So he did make some edits, but even then, like, some of it was already made. How much could you change?
Well, the thing is, the reason why the Snyder Cut has received such a following is because fans believe that Zack Snyder got a bit dicked over when he left the project. Because they think at that point, Warner Brothers was like, okay, we could do some serious.
We can undo what we want.
We can undo what he's done. Because the fans haven't enjoyed Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. Like, there are a lot of problems. We'll get Joss Whedon, the guy who notoriously did a lot of what the MCU stood for at that point. We'll bring him in, get him to do what he did for Justice League, and we'll get the sweet Marvel money. And that backfired because what Joss Whedon did to the project wasn't what DC was. And you ended up with this very empty shell of a film.
Yeah.
Solo they changed a lot.
It's got a Marvel sheen on it, but that just renders everything else empty.
Yeah. The Marvel sheen mostly comes from the color grade.
Well, yes. That too. Yeah. Well, I mean, that leaves me very intrigued by the possibility of a Snyder Cut. I mean, I will watch it.
Oh, I'm 100%.
I don't remember anything that happened in Justice League. I couldn't give you any.
Basically, Steppenwolf came along and talked about
the band?
What?
There's a band called Steppenwolf. Don't worry.
I see. Yeah, and then there are 3 boxes, and Steppenwolf got all the boxes, but
MacGuffin, 3 MacGuffins in one film.
Oh. Yeah, but then they used one of them to bring Superman back to life, and then Superman was like, "I'm mad now."
I remember that bit. I remember that bit.
Yeah. And then Ezra Miller was actually good for a bit.
Yeah. I remember.
Aquaman sat on the lasso of truth and started blubbering. That was
that was quite funny.
It's like lots of little things, and overall it was just there.
Yeah, one of the bits that really annoyed me in the film, it's one of the only bits I remember realistically, is the bit when they decide that the best way to bring Superman back to life is to drop the box in the water, but as the box hits the water, the Flash has to hit the water with electricity at the exact same time. So he's like, I need to do a massive runner. So the second the box makes contact with the water, I have to hit it with electricity. And it becomes this big set piece. And I'm like, well, if it doesn't work, just do it again.
You've got all afternoon.
Yeah. It's just like, why is this a set piece? This is bollocks.
Well, maybe that will be in the...
It's also the Flash. I'm sure he'll do it. He's really good at that thing. Timing is sort of his thing.
That's the extra footage. It's 40 extra minutes.
Yeah, it was fuck.
Shit. Oh, shit.
Try it again and again and again.
And Aquaman has to dive in, fish it out.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah.
I really don't remember.
How about you just hold it in the water? Just one woman just hold it there.
Yeah.
Done.
There's a bit when they dig up Superman's body as well. And I remember there's like Flash and Aquaman are digging up the body. You're like, they could do this a lot quicker than they're doing it. They're just like literally digging and talking like anyone would.
Yeah.
Like Flash could do this in a second if he wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Odd film. Terrible film. Intrigued by the Snyder Cut, although Snyder hasn't made a good film in.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Since 2009.
I don't know why people are lauding him to be the savior of it. I'm like, well, it could have been shit even if he carried on.
It would have been.
Who knows? Who knows it was going to be good or not?
Yeah.
Likelihood it was still going to be as bullshit as it was,
if not more.
Yeah, it's not like if he was still doing what he was going to do, like from Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, the likelihood is it was going to be pretty shit. Because the track record so far weren't great.
Yeah.
So
what they did was give you a different flavor of shit.
Yeah, slightly different, slightly sweeter.
It did kick off a series of other directors being asked whether or not they want to do their director's cut of their superhero film. David Ayer of Suicide Squad fame said, "Yes, indeed, I'd love to do that. Like, there's very little that Warner Brothers allowed me to actually keep from my cut."
Yeah, that from what I've heard, that would be quite intriguing because Warner Brothers blocked a lot.
And Josh Trank of Fantastic Four fame, while he's advertising
That's
his
not
new
worth it.
movie Capone, he was asked, and he said, "Absolutely not."
No. I cut out all the shit.
Can't blame him, to be honest.
We got rid of all the shit. What we left you was actually the good bits of the film.
Yeah. Apparently, his new film is critically not doing very well either.
Well, who's seen it?
It's online.
Of course.
It's another release of the month. Yeah. Capone.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know that. I thought they delayed that. I didn't think they brought it out.
Oh yeah, they brought it out. Capone, yeah. It's a horror infused take on the gangster genre, starring Tom Hardy as Alfonso Capone, and apparently it's not that good.
So basically, Trank watched Legend and went, "Oh look, Tom Hardy can play gangsters."
Yeah.
When you
just do a different one.
What do you mean by horror infused? Does Al Capone get haunted by the ghosts of everyone he's killed?
In the Valentine's Day massacre.
Yeah. No, yeah, he does. I watched the scene. He does get haunted by the ghosts. Yeah.
I'm in for that. Was it funny?
The plot of the film is he got very early onset dementia, Capone. This is set when he has his dementia, so he is getting haunted by visions. And there's one bit where he shits the bed. I watched that scene. That's fun.
Wow.
But basically, yeah, he buried a lot of money somewhere, but because he got this dementia, he couldn't remember where he put it. So the authorities believe, like, yeah, you're pretending, but no, he was literally like riddled with dementia. So the premise is very, very interesting.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently it's not. I don't know why. I still hold out hope for it. I watched the bit where he shits the bed and is haunted by this ghost, and I was like, "This is pretty cool. I like this.
I think I think some
bed shitting, don't we?
I think some films are going to suffer critically because they're not being shown in cinemas.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even critics, they probably won't admit it, but let's be honest, they probably review a film better if they see it in the cinema or if they see it
100%.
Yeah,
especially if they're watching it on their laptops and not.
I do like even critics are sometimes looking at their phone or looking at something. You know, if they have the ability to, they're going to do it.
Exactly. If they're at home, it's even more so.
I wonder how many critics have like a home theatre.
Cook
dinner. Some of them probably have a small little, just a big TV, I suppose.
Like
even
Mark
that, it's not the same.
for instance, just has a big TV. I listened to it the other day. He's like, yeah, I've got like a living room set up, but I haven't got like a home cinema or anything. So even the biggest film reviewer in the UK doesn't have like a home cinema.
No, because we don't have the space in this country for that sort of bullshit.
I meant money, just a big enough TV, good detail, and then a good sound system. Because you lose a lot of detail in not having
one person. Sound. You don't need a home theatre. If it's one of you.
That's what you think.
Just get close to your laptop.
Get close.
Just sit really close to the laptop.
Put a little towel around it and
put little curtains on it.
Yeah.
Just put your head in. Done. Cinema.
That reminds me of the old when you had split screen co-op on gaming. But you didn't want to see what was on the other screen. You'd erect a towel between the two screens.
I never did that.
No, never did that. Just accepted that we.
I never did it myself. I saw pictures of it and I thought that's genius.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
My mates were just cheap.
Also, most of the time, split screen was like top and bottom. That'd be really tricky.
Yeah, well, one person would have to like lie beneath the towel.
Okay.
Oh.
I say towel, it could be any form of cloth.
Yeah, any sort of fabric.
Yeah.
Other fabrics are available.
Bit of cling film.
Yeah, that'll work. Perfect.
That's if your little brother was like really gullible.
Like, don't worry, I can't see through it. You can see through it. It's like a two-way mirror.
Yeah. That's what they put on those police interrogation walls. Is cling film.
Oh dear.
All right, moving on. Callum, you've been very good. I'm sorry I sprung the Snyder cut on you. Talk about Tenet for us.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, well, we don't know yet. The trailer's good, but we still don't know if it's going to be any good. Can't say for sure.
Yeah, the best part
bonkers.
of the trailer is definitely the moment where it says coming to cinemas.
Yep.
Because
they don't want to guarantee it. They don't want to bet too soon.
It's the most sassy bit of a trailer I've ever seen. In the comments, that was oof. But they
ain't fucking releasing online. We're fucking coming.
Yeah. We don't know when, but it will.
Yeah, they did stop short of giving an actual date, though.
Yeah, of course they don't. They don't want to guarantee a date just yet. That'd be stupid.
Christopher Nolan wants to guarantee.
Yeah, he wants to, but he's not in charge of the company.
Yeah.
Well,
as much as he thinks he is.
Yeah, he thinks he is, but he's not. I mean, I love the man, but he's not in charge of. Who is it who produces it? It's Warner Bros., isn't it?
Warner Bros.
Yeah.
And Sin Copy, which is
he's definitely not in. He's in charge of that, but he's not in charge of time.
Yeah, he's not in charge of the distribution.
That's what you think.
As in Time Warner, not Time in general.
He's not shooting the bullet; he's catching it. You know.
Yep. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, he's not
actually doing that.
He's not catching coronavirus; he's spreading it.
I want it to be open and be able to watch on July 17th, but it might not.
Yeah, it might not.
Fingers crossed, but let's not get our hopes up too much.
Depends how much the government wants to kill us all.
I mean, it comes down to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm buzzing to see it, but I don't want it to come out July 17th. I want it to come out later.
Yeah.
I just do. I just don't want to risk it realistically. But
it does.
Push it to next year.
Buzzing to watch it. It looks sick.
Yeah.
It looks sick. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you do. Do all you guys like Dunkirk? What's all of our opinions?
I enjoyed Dunkirk.
I thought Dunkirk was a good film, but I didn't personally enjoy it.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked it and enjoyed it.
It is very, very good.
I only watched it 2 months ago.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I thought Dunkirk. Yeah, it was obviously technically fantastic, and there's a lot of very exciting sequences, a lot of exciting visuals. I think the thing that I didn't enjoy about it, and I've always wrestled with it, but realistically, there is something I don't enjoy about it, and I think it is the lack of exposition. For someone like Nolan, who is so heavy on exposition usually, and I've come to expect that from him and enjoy that from him, and enjoy the stories of his films. But sometimes believe the story adds to the tension. To have a film that is just about tension, without any character development, realistically.
Yeah, that was.
I'm going to say the exposition is quite simple. The exposition is.
The exposition is this is happening.
Yeah, the exposition is fuck.
Yeah,
that's the exposition. But yeah, I know. Yeah, so there's exposition, but it's very simple, and there's not the character. Yeah, there's lack of character development.
There's no. Before I went into Dunkirk, I was always expecting it was going to be a story about a guy who's going to Dunkirk Beach, and he goes there, and you know what I mean,
it's basically it's the Love Actually of action films.
Yeah, it
jumps around and you don't really care about anyone.
Yeah.
It's the second act of any other war movie, or the third act of any other war movie. It's not technically a full film, which is really cool. It's such a cool idea, and I like the whole Shepherd tone aspect to it. However, I just yearned for that Nolan thing that I had come to know and love, and I feel like this is a step back in that direction.
Yeah, he tried to sort of make a documentary almost.
Yeah, it was kind of like the world's most expensive
recreation
art project. It was like I'm gonna do like a documentary art installation thing, and it was wicked. But I wanted I wanted those stories again. I wanted the stories, and it looks like he's done that again with his usual sci-fi time-bending elements that he even added into Dunkirk. There were the time-bending elements in there.
Yeah.
He's so known for.
He didn't bend time. He just showed different parts of time.
That's all the film is, really, isn't it?
In terms of the structure of the film, he is messing with time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the world of the film.
And once again, he is.
I don't remember seeing ships
time,
like sailing
in a different way this time. By the looks of it, where time, is actually part of the narrative as opposed to a narrative structure. Time is moving backwards and forwards, and is it John David Washington or is it David John Washington? I can never remember.
John David.
John David. John David clearly has some sort of connection to this inversion that is happening, with the aid of the young girl who is talking him through it in the trailer. The Morgan Freeman, by the looks of it, of this film. The Lucius Fox of this film is a young white girl.
We've still got the Michael Caine of this film because it's Michael Caine.
Still got the Michael Caine, absolutely.
I believe it's Elizabeth Debicki.
No, that's the
someone else.
Elizabeth Debicki looks like one of the villains. At the beginning, he's chasing her, and she escapes.
Is he chasing her or is she chasing him?
Yeah.
The young girl is from In Bruges, I believe.
Don't know her name.
The one from Harry Potter 4. I can't remember her name.
Oh, the one who plays
Fleur Delacour.
Okay, I don't know her name either, but it's European name.
Oh, it's gonna come to me.
Someone should do some fact checking. What? Sorry?
Is it Florence Parisi?
That sounds very
rings a bell. Rings a bell. We'll go with that.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Oh no, we could have just we should have trusted ourselves, David.
I do
gone with it and been wrong.
But I think that the major upside of the trailer still is that it still doesn't reveal much. It still doesn't reveal much in the way of action, despite the fact that Nolan has announced that it's definitely the most action he's ever done in the film.
Yeah.
I still don't really know what it's about.
No.
Time.
No. Which is interesting.
It's like a vague, stop World War III kind of.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's going to be what the actual film is.
Time terrorists.
That seems seems too simplistic.
Yeah.
That seems too Dan Patterson book. It seems too simple, if you know what I mean. It seems
Dan Patterson.
Is it Dan Patterson? James Patterson. Seems to be James Patterson.
Are you mixing up James Patterson and Dan Brown?
They write the same shit.
That's pretty much the caliber we're looking at.
Yeah, that level of novel where it's just, the world's going to end. We send in a guy who knows how to fix it. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a bit more complex than that, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan Patterson.
What was her name?
Who designs it anyway, and Monkwick. He's that guy. He invented those.
Yeah, Clemence Parisi.
Clemence.
Yeah.
Clemence. And it is her, isn't it? In Tenet.
Oh yeah, that was what we wanted, David. Not just what her name is.
Oh dear. Fuck.
She is in English if it helps, and Harry Potter 4. So.
I saw someone re-edited the poster for Tenet and put Moss from IT Crowd in it and just put Tenettenburg on the front. It's a good poster.
That's brilliant.
Tension is palpable.
So what is the name? I know the name is the same forwards and backwards, but other than that, what does the name mean? Do we know yet?
I think
tennis is like a principle in religion, for example.
I thought that was a tenet.
I don't know if that comes into it, but
there is
a tenet, isn't it? There's no end.
Aspect, which is interesting. I don't know how that's going to play a part.
Well,
I think he tried to find a name that was a palindrome, didn't he? Let's be honest. He's built it around that.
There are many better. He could have just named his main character Otto, and
or Race Car. The whole thing could be called Race Car.
Race Car.
It's interesting though. John David Washington used to be an NFL football player, didn't he? So he, in terms of physicality, is going to be quite interesting to watch. He's going to be able to. Apparently, the action is like mental in this film, like so much action, and apparently John David Washington was absolutely exhausted from months and months after shooting it and stuff. So the trailer hasn't given that away yet. How much fucking action is in this movie?
Not really. So far, it looks like the same amount of action as like a spy thriller, where it's sort of like action, and then we sit in a dark room and talk, and then action, and then we sit in a cafe and we talk, and then more action. That's what the trailer looks like so far, but from what you're saying, apparently it's going to be a bit more intense than that.
And then we get the end of the trailer scene in which he crashes the plane, crashes the Boeing 747, which
or does the plane catch him?
Does the plane crash him? They did that for real in this movie because they crunched the numbers and figured out it's actually cheaper to do it than to build a like half size scale model. So they just did it. They bought it and just crashed it.
They ran it into a building.
Yep.
Fair enough.
All of our jokes are very much reminding me of the in Soviet Russia memes.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit like that. Which this film might be about, we don't know yet.
Yeah, is it
set in the 80s?
Branagh playing a Russian?
Is what?
Is Kenneth Branagh playing a Russian? He's got some sort of accent going on, hasn't he?
Yes, he does.
Might be Russian, or
I do not know.
Eastern European of some kind. We don't know yet.
If he says anything along those lines, like something like that, I'd be like, "Yeah, this is awesome."
When bullets shoot you.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that's come out of the advertising campaign of this film is that Christopher Nolan loves MacGruber.
Of course he does. Who doesn't love MacGruber? It'd be mental if you didn't love MacGruber.
He's advocating for the series to be made and shit. Apparently, the director MacGruber found out that Christopher Nolan liked him, or liked the film. So he met him at a party, went up to him and went, "Oh, hi, I'm the guy who directed MacGruber." And Nolan was like, "Oh, awesome, let's have a chat." And they were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, for the sequel of MacGruber, I was wondering if it'd be possible if at the beginning of the film I write that it's directed by Christopher Nolan with an asterisk, and at the end do the asterisk again and write who the actual director is." And he was like, "Let me talk to my wife." This is his wife, this is his producer. He's like, talk to my wife. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Who knew Nolan had a sense of humour?
Ooh, what was that?
He does in interviews. He's very sarcastic.
Yeah.
He can, if he doesn't like the interviewer, you can tell because he doesn't give any real answers to anything. He genuinely just tries to irritate them as much as he can.
Brilliant.
He also does those things where, like the DJA Guild things, where he interviews other filmmakers sometimes. I had the one where he interviews Edgar Wright at the release of Baby Driver, and a lot of it is just him ripping into the fact that Edgar Wright used digital filmmaking rather than film. He was just it's just him ripping him. Funny guy.
Mm. Yeah. It's difficult to know what this film is actually about because the script is under a tight lockdown. Apparently, there's like a single copy in a room that's locked, and the actors are let in there to read it, but they can't bring it out with them. They have to remember it or something. It's something
it's backwards.
Like that.
It makes it even worse.
Yeah.
All the words are in reverse.
I hear it's the same film forwards as it is backwards.
Apparently.
Yeah.
It's actually a different film forwards as it is backwards.
I hear the deleted scenes of the scenes and the scenes of the deleted scenes.
Oh, God.
The film is that he's actually going to film us watching it, and that's the film.
Yeah, that's the film.
That's the film.
Oh dear. So, what other news have we got this month, guys? Anything else happened?
I mean, those two were the big things.
Netflix is trying to buy a theatre.
It did.
So is Amazon.
Netflix
is trying to buy a theatre. Amazon is trying to buy an entire chain of theatres.
Right. Netflix bought the famous Egyptian theatre in LA. So they have no issue now screening their film for 2 weeks in LA to get Oscar-worthy films. Like, they're sorted.
That's a clever, good idea, actually. To be honest, fair enough.
Amazon were in talks to buy AMC after all this.
Oh,
I think they'll be allowed to, though, would they?
I don't know.
Because isn't there rules on being
the number of things that I thought Amazon couldn't get away with, but have.
There are, but that's recently got abolished.
Oh,
yeah.
That recently got taken down. That's why Amazon are now looking to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hence why, and Disney Disney do own theaters, but they own theaters on private land.
Yeah,
they own the theaters on Disneyland property, which is fine because they're not. Much as they are open to the public, they're
not.
It's a weird rule. Like the licenses are different. They're just cinemas where they play old Disney films and stuff. They don't like show anything else. Yeah. So it's sort of different. But so now Disney are likely to spread their theaters out a little bit. So who knows? I don't know why that law got turned around. I don't understand.
Probably Amazon or Disney gave somebody enough money to.
It might generally be an idea to like the theatre industry is dying. We need big companies to come in and buy them.
Yeah, but then if only Disney showed Disney films in Disney cinemas, and then only Amazon shows Amazon, and that doesn't work at all.
No, you have to end up then you're like, to different cinemas.
Where's my closest Disney film? 200 miles away,
Yeah.
And then would Disney show Amazon film? And it's just
not.
And then it's just independent films like we don't get any films anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Be intriguing though, and it would be also intriguing to see the new Lord of the Rings series in the cinema because they would have that power.
Yeah,
which has been in the works for fucking ages now.
Still not started filming yet.
Well, now not. I think they probably might have started soon. No, it's not even filming.
Still in
still development.
Yeah.
Wow, that script is under like crazy lockdown as well, isn't it?
I'm sure it is. Who's right? I feel like there's probably a team, not one person, is it? It's an American series. There's probably a whole room of people.
They take like a page each and just
see what happens when they stick it all together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Will it be worse than The Hobbit?
No.
There are very few things that are worse than The Hobbit.
Yeah, there are things that The Hobbit's bad, but if you ignore the third film, it's okay.
Yeah.
If you disregard the third film,
I'd argue the first film is actually good.
The first one.
Absolutely.
I mean, the first one has the most Martin Freeman in it, which is...
and the second one has some moments that are redeemable.
The second one's got Big Dragon.
I love Big Dragon.
Yeah.
The third one's got Big Dragon as well.
Yeah, I've only for like 10 minutes.
That's the best scene of the third film, easily.
Yeah, and from there it's downhill from then on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
Massively downhill.
Yeah, because that basically that first scene is the end of The Hobbit, really.
Pretty much.
And he's sort of standing around while this war goes on. Exactly.
Well, no, he's unconscious. In the book, he's knocked unconscious, and they tell him what happened. The chapter is the dwarf going, "This is what happened, Bilbo. You fucking got knocked out by a rock." So they sort of they didn't really give that much detail. They sort of go, "Yeah, that happened, and then we did that, and then it all was fine. It's cool. We did it, but you didn't help."
Yeah.
Writing.
Yeah. That would have made it.
That would have been a better scene in the film.
I would have loved the third film. Bilbo gets knocked out by a rock. He wakes up and they tell him what happened.
They just tell him, and it's all
and
done
then
in
the
flashback.
credits roll immediately afterwards.
Yeah, I would have been down with that because then at least
last shot of the film.
It could have been funny. They could have had like them telling different versions of what happened and cut like that. No, that's not how it happened. That would have been much better.
Yeah, Legolas is running up the rocks. They could have been like, he could have been like,
fucking mental.
That's physics, and he's like, yeah, maybe embellishing it a little bit.
Elf.
The last shot of the entire film is just Martin Freeman's confused face, and
then just go out. It's doing like a
pauses on his face as the credits roll.
Just a freeze frame.
A Freeman frame.
Just a Freeman face at the end. That'd be great.
And then there's like really 80s techno.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these things would have improved that film.
I say we suggest it. Let's get Peter on the phone.
The Peter cut.
Yeah, the Peter cut.
Director's cut of.
Let's get it on HBO Max. Let's get in touch.
Let's do it.
Fantastic. I'm struggling with news, to be honest. There's a couple of TV shows that came out we could talk about.
Yes.
Has anyone watched any new TV, or have we all been?
I watched the first episode of Space Force.
Yeah, I've seen 2 episodes of Space Force.
It's okay. It's just taking a slow build, which for like an American produced comedy is quite rare.
Yeah, and I'm
usually like bang.
I'm going to be very honest with you, Ryan. The second episode is a step up from the first one.
Yeah.
First one it's a lot of setup.
Yeah.
For stuff that's going to pay off quite magnificently. The second one, so the end of the first episode, there is an issue that happens.
Yes.
And the second episode is all about resolving that issue, and there is one of the best spacewalk scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
It's absolutely hilarious what happens. I'm not going to ruin anything more than that.
No.
But I recommend it. If you're bored and you want something new, Space Force is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I appreciated that they took an episode to just establish the characters. Because we're sort of, usually with American-based comic, they don't really do that.
Yeah. And
they just assume that you know them.
Yeah, it's nice to see Steve Carell actually withheld a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not going all off on one. He's quite a reserved character.
He's the straight man, essentially.
Yeah, if there's ever any comedy, he finds it in being that character rather than twisting that character to get a laugh.
Yeah.
And it's a good series. I'm very much enjoying it. I'd take it neither of you have watched a bit of Space.
I haven't watched it yet. No, I'll definitely watch it at some point.
It's enjoyable so far.
I watched Real Space.
Oh, you watched the launch, did you?
Yeah, that was good fun.
How'd that go? Did it go up?
It went up.
I bet it went up.
Oh, well, the first time they tried, it didn't go up because which then just makes me think about, like, imagine Star Wars and Star Trek. Oh, we can't take
shit. Didn't work
out. Yeah, the entire fleet in Rise of Skywalker's got a. That's gonna be.
Yeah, they just turn up.
But Emperor Palpatine, we can't launch. There's too much rain.
But then the second launch went fine. The best thing is, with like an hour to go, they were like, "Yeah, there's a 50% chance we'll go up today."
Great, that's good to know.
They went up.
Where are they going up to, though?
The ISS.
I was just to that. I was like, that happens all the fucking time.
Well, not from US soil.
Yeah,
First time in
fucking boring. That's not new and exciting. It's just routine bullshit.
No, because they're going to reuse this rocket again and again and again.
Oh, good. It's a recyclable rocket.
SpaceX.
Yeah. That's
good. Being a bit more conscious environmentally, fine. Well, not that much conscious. I'm like fucking CO2. That thing probably burst out into the fucking sky. But still, I thought it was going to be something new and exciting. I'll just send them up there to the big flat in the sky that people stay in for a couple of months. Great.
Wow.
Yeah. This is to eventually go to the moon and then eventually go to Mars. So.
Do we need to go to the moon again?
Yeah,
I think we covered the moon, haven't we?
Tickets,
we pretty much got everything we need from the moon.
Boots on the moon by 2024.
Boots on the moon. Like, what else is on the moon?
We've got to reenact Futurama.
What, build a casino on the moon?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Rap party on the moon.
Rap party on the moon.
2025.
Yeah.
We can't get up before 11, let alone fucking organise. Well, some of us can, some of us can't.
Organise a space launch?
Yeah.
I'll have I've already planned one.
You have to get in the rocket 3 hours before.
I just didn't tell you.
We're going to make it happen, Ryan. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Rap party on the moon.
Go up there with Tom Cruise.
Why Tom? What's Tom doing? Why is he involved?
He's meant to be making a film in space.
He's not going to space for Mission Impossible 7, Sam. That's not...
He is going to space for a movie, though. That is happening.
Oh, is he going in space?
But is it like space or like the guy who parachuted space? Like, what kind of space?
Elon Musk is helping him with the aid of SpaceX to get him up there. They've got the director, the guy who directed Edge of Tomorrow. He's directed it. They're going up to space. They're doing it.
It won't be proper space.
Well, who knows?
It won't be proper space.
Who knows?
I don't think the people who are in charge of Tom Cruise will let him go to proper space.
I think he's in charge. You know?
I think
it's true. Tom's in charge of Tom. Tom doesn't give a shit.
I mean, this is the whole
also, he might be able to meet the people he believes in. He might be able to... Hello. They might come and meet him halfway. That's what it is. It's just a Scientology thing. They're just getting him up there so he can meet the makers. That's all it is.
Can you imagine if he comes back and he has this revelation when he gets back? He's just like, you know what, I was wrong. There's nothing out.
Fuck all out there. I shouted, I called out. There's no one there. There's no one there. That'd be fucking brilliant. And John Travolta was like what? Just standing there going.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, that's gonna happen, man. That's gonna happen. Going up there.
Did you say how high? Doug Liman, the director? Did you say?
Sorry.
Did you say it was Doug Liman, the director?
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'd get on board with that.
Yeah.
What are you?
Christ. Director.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Cat of a cat. The what? The attack of a cat.
Right, has your cat got very or is he just standing close to the camera?
No, he's standing close to the camera.
Okay.
What are you doing? Off you go.
The two new TV shows I've watched were Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich.
I saw that. Mad.
Yeah, and Rick and Morty, the new series or the new episodes. Yeah. Rick and Morty,
but very different, but also similar.
Rick and Morty episodes are good. I'd say this was a step up from the first half of.
Absolutely, the Vat of Acid episode was the episode.
One of my favourites so far.
Remember what is so good about Rick and Morty?
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal episode. But if you're intrigued by documentaries and true crime and all that kind of stuff, and also something to just make your blood boil, the Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich will make you go, "This is fucking mental." And also, how is Prince Andrew not already? Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, basically you watch it and go, why would they, dickheads? It's essentially getting very angry at the people who are in charge of things for about 4 hours.
Yeah, I kept saying dickheads.
I'm already angry at the people in charge of things.
Oh, it'll make it worse. It'll make it so much worse.
Oh, no.
Because not only was he a reprehensible human being who did horrendous things and should never be, just be forgotten about, but people let him fucking do it.
Yeah.
And keep doing it. Makes it worse.
Even after getting arrested for sexual assault. It's bonkers.
Mad.
Definitely three things of note. Epstein definitely did it. Epstein didn't kill himself. And Andrew is a rapist, and I'll have to say that. Not libelous. He's a fucking rapist.
Fuck Pizza Express.
Yeah, exactly.
Who the fuck Pizza Express? There's a photo of him not in Pizza fucking Express. Clearly not there.
I did enjoy the slew of reviews for Pizza Express that came out in the wake of
that. They were funny.
There's this really haunting moment in the documentary where this girl is like, I was watching the Prince Andrew interview with my head on my hands, completely gobsmacked because he literally raped me. And I was like, yeah.
Also, in the photo, he's clearly sweating.
Yeah. No sweat.
He fucking sweats. Don't.
Fucking weirdo, man.
Andrew, you fucking snide. You can't. He fucking sweats. You bastard.
Oh, God.
But it's a fascinating watch.
Yeah.
If you want to be angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need something to cool me down, I think.
And get a lot of aerial views of New York.
Yeah.
Lots of them. For some reason, every time they went back to New York, they'd spend about 2 minutes just a slow shot of New York.
It's really excited that they got to film there, and
pretty much. It's just, we know what New York is. But thanks.
Yeah.
Just tell us.
Did you say you needed something to cool down, Sam?
Yeah, something to relax with.
Yeah, we need something cold.
I would say Rick and Morty probably if we're looking at new stuff. Like it makes you forget everything. Yeah. No, the Vat of Acid is probably the best one.
Yeah.
It's like
I did fall out of love with Rick and Morty.
Yeah, same.
Season 2, I think. When it was like Pickle Rick stuff, and it's just like
season
3. Yeah.
Yeah, season 3 is the last series I watched, or just watched.
Series 4 is a continuation of the quality of Series 3 until the second half of Series 4, which I think is definitely an improvement.
Yeah, they try a few different things. Some of them land, some of them don't, but it's all different, and I think that's
what you want. That's what you want.
Yeah, I think if you're feeling sort of ambivalent towards it, it's probably worthwhile waiting until they're all going to be released on Netflix,
and just
later next month.
Yeah, I'll probably.
You can do them like either one at a time or all in one go, and you'll find one that you enjoy, or find one that you don't. If you're ambivalent, there's no point waiting specifically for Monday when you know it's online somewhere.
For sure.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to be doing something unprecedented right now, something that the podcast has never done before. I'm being called away. Okay. So I have to go.
Bye.
So I'm going to be leaving the podcast.
Okay.
All right. Before you go, Gangs of London. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, cool. I'll talk about that after you've gone then.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. I apologize, guys, but I'll see you all later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
He's gone.
He's gone.
What a dickhead. What a fucking slap.
I think we've had people leave the podcast before.
We have.
Yeah, like I think
usually him.
Yeah, because he's got like lifts home or something. He's had to.
But it's usually between episodes, to be fair.
Yeah. No, this was unprecedented.
He's still a wanker.
Have either of you seen Gangs of London?
No.
This is a new Sky series, directed or created. The first episode is also directed by the guy who did the Raid movies.
Oh, okay.
Gareth Evans.
Yes, Gareth Evans.
And he brings that same mentality to Gangs of London. And I mean mentality in every sense of the word, because it is fucking mental. It's mad, honestly. Each episode that I've seen so far, I've seen 4 episodes out of the 9, but each one contains at least one action sequence.
Well, you'd expect. I mean, I'd expect that.
But it's an action sequence unlike anything that British TV has come up with before. This is very much
British television isn't a fan of big action set pieces. We're not.
No, but soon it will be, thanks to this. So the basic story follows Joe Cole, who plays a character who is part of the Wallace family, which is the biggest crime family in London at the moment, and the patriarch of this family is assassinated.
Ooh.
Which causes ripples in that family and their connection with all the other families that comprise London's criminal underworld. And as this Sean character unleashes hell upon all the families while trying to find out who murdered his father, it has effects on everyone else.
Pretty classic crime mafia kind of film.
Pretty classic crime, but stylish, quite gritty, very violent. Like the first scene is him setting somebody on fire while dangling them off a building, and that kind of gives you point. If you don't,
sets the tone.
Yeah, and I think it was important for them to do that, because if anybody watches that and it's just like, oh, if this show's not for you at that point, so it's like, okay, I'm out. Yeah, fine, not for me. But for people like us, go for it. Give me more Burning Men. Perfect.
Love a Burning Man.
What you do, you get another Burning Man in the second episode.
2 Burning Men.
Yeah, they set up a promise and delivered on it.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
So good series. I'm very surprised Callum hasn't watched it yet, considering it's the Raid guy. But
he probably means to, but just hasn't got around to it yet.
Yeah, or he doesn't know about it.
It's possible.
Gangs of London.
What channel is it on?
BBC.
Sky.
Oh, Sky.
Yeah, Sky series. A Sky original series.
Oh, wow.
They're very keen on pointing out. So you can watch that if you've got Now TV or
Sky.
Sky, yes.
You'd hope so, anyway.
Well, you can. Yeah, that's how I watched it.
It'd probably be okay if you got Virgin as well, because usually you can get Sky channels on Virgin.
Depends. It looks like they released the whole series in one dump.
Oh, really?
Which I found weird. So I don't know.
So it's not going out on television.
But it might be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know.
Some they do that now, don't they?
So it's one of the classic Sky box sets that they keep going on about.
So if you know how to do that, you can. But if you're old and don't know how to do that, you can just watch it like a normal TV show.
Yeah, maybe.
It does happen I've noticed that happens a lot with like Channel 4 does that quite a lot with comedy series. They'll release all of it on 4OD. No, it's not called 4OD anymore, is it? All 4.
Yeah.
I prefer 4OD, to be honest.
Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue a lot better than all 4. I mean, why do they call it all 4 and not?
It's because now it's all of the channels that are owned by
Channel 4.
So it's 4E4.
4 so 4AD made sense because you could just be Channel 4
on demand.
Yeah, 4 Plus.
Yeah, but also they started doing live. You could watch it live on there. 4OD you couldn't. It was only stuff that had happened. So.
Anyway, enough about Channel 4.
That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, that's a weird tangent.
What's Channel 5?
Sam, what have you been watching? What have you been up to?
I don't know.
Have you seen anything new this month?
I started watching Rogue Warfare on Netflix.
Rogue Nation's not new.
Yeah, I keep forgetting what it's called. It came out last year, but it's on UK Netflix like this year. There's apparently 3 of the films. I made it 5 minutes until I decided this is the worst film I think I've watched ever.
Wow. Worse than Six Underground?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so bad. I generally was like, I can't actually stand this acting or story arc. And it was 5 minutes and I think maybe a bit more. It was just awful.
Bless you.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah, well, you say muted. It looked like you grabbed the microphone.
Look, it mutes when you do.
That's clever.
Close, so it's quite easy to flip.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam.
I watched 5 minutes of an awful thing. There's apparently 3 of those films.
Oh, wow.
It was just bad. Just awful. I've gone back to Star Wars. I've gone back.
Old reliable.
So I started watching Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think
I forgot what your original thoughts on Rise of Skywalker were when it first came out.
I can't even remember. I enjoyed it. It has its moments, but I think the thing I hate the most about it is the visual lightning effects.
Such a specific, mate. Just such a specific thing.
Yeah.
My eyes kind of just go, nah.
Don't like it.
I'm out.
Don't like it.
And originally I thought it was my eyes did that because when I first watched it, I watched the midnight and I was very tired.
Yeah.
Like a full day of work then when I watched the midnight. And originally I thought, oh, maybe it's just that. And then I rewatched it in the cinema and didn't really notice it. But then I was watching it at home the other day and my eyes kind of just checked out and got bored of the flashing lights on the screen. And I was just thinking it'd be a better film if it didn't have flashing light effects to hide, or I assume to hide special effects they can be bothered to work on. I mean, that's probably not right at all, but...
There's probably an element of that, but I think it was also just tone setting, wasn't it?
But...
And the lighting was, used later on. Like, the lighting was...
Yeah, it was just, there was so much going on. It's just like, we can calm down for 5 minutes.
Just fucking chill, guys. Stop all this space nonsense, and can we just sit down and have a talk, please?
I think it is the weakest of the 3 films, the sequels.
I would agree.
I make a strong case that it's the weakest of the 9 films.
So that's not true.
That's pretty contentious. That's pretty contentious.
I think episode 1's still my least favourite.
No, number 2 is the worst.
No, that's the best.
Number 2 is the worst.
It changes.
Phantom Menace has got redeeming features. Number 2 hasn't.
No, 2 does.
Go on.
I just like the fight at the end.
What, of number 2?
Yeah.
You got the fight at the end of number 2 as opposed to the fight at the end of number 1.
Well, yeah, that's the only good thing of number 1, though, is the Darth Maul fight. Nah, it gets boring.
The pod racing great.
Goes on for too long.
It's pod racing, Sam.
Anyway, the important thing is both of these films have redeeming features, whereas Episode 9 does not. So
yeah, Babu Frick.
Yeah, no, I don't see what everyone's excited about. What?
Babu Frick's the best.
If what you're remembering about an episode.
No, I remember all of it. I could give you a breakdown.
Tiny side character.
What I hope they do with the sequels is a Clone Wars style TV show.
They've already done that, Sam. It's called the Clone Wars TV show.
No, for the new ones.
The new ones? Have they announced new ones? I thought they were sort of. I thought taking their foot off the brake a little bit and like.
I just wish they did a TV cartoon series about the new 3 films.
Oh, like a companion series alongside, like the Clone Wars for the first and like Resistance. Okay, I get you.
Yeah, do stuff like that.
Companion series. Okay.
I think the characters could be good, but I don't think they're good at the moment.
To care enough to want that, but I don't.
I haven't watched any of the animated series, so I can't. No. I have heard they're very good.
I've been watching Rebels recently because it's got one of my favourite characters in it, Thrawn. I've just been watching the episodes with him in it, and that's
the episodes with him in it, so you're not actually getting the whole story.
Well, I've watched it like 5 times already.
I know
story. Yeah, I'm just watching like his story and stuff.
Yeah, maybe, but I think Star Wars, they're sort of taking a break almost.
Currently,
aren't they? Hopefully,
I think the only confirmed film they are working on is Taika Waititi's film.
Oh yeah, which we don't know what it is yet.
On live action TV, but the Star Wars celebration later this year, I'd assume that's when they'll announce
something.
Their films, because originally they were like, we're going to have Star Wars films in 2022, 2026, but currently there's only one film currently confirmed. Rian Johnson's trilogy, he still wants to work on it, but nothing's happened on that.
I think they should just make 3 films that aren't a trilogy. Just make 3 separate films that don't rely on the other films.
Yeah.
Because that's what, let's be honest, that's what really, this most recent trilogy, that's sort of what made them worse. Yeah. Is that they were part of the same series.
I think the thing is,
if you treat them individually, they could be okay, but you can't.
I think they really needed a 4th film.
Yeah.
They rushed, because 8 didn't feel like 8 was more of a 7.
8 was a different. It belongs to a different trilogy.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, they rushed out. I think they too heavily went into as a trilogy, and they need to not. They just need to go film by film.
Get away from the trilogy. Don't hem yourself into a trilogy. Don't try and fill it or try and condense it into a trilogy. Just make films that make sense.
Films that make sense, that aren't rushed and have directed you.
But Taika can do that, so I'm trusting the man.
Yeah. In Taika we trust.
In Taika we trust. That was vaguely new to this month because that was announced this month that he was doing a Star Wars film. So we have made this relevant.
That's some good work. I'm proud of you guys.
God, that's so long ago.
Yeah. So something we've been doing since lockdown started. What have we been watching just in general? What have we rewatched?
I watched the entire F1 2019.
Wow. Fair enough.
In a week.
How'd it end? Who won?
Well, Hamilton won.
Hamilton won, of course.
Yeah. It was quite good fun.
Good.
I mean, when you get towards the end, the last 5 races was like, oh Christ, I've watched 15 of these.
Hadn't he already won by the last? Did he win the last
he'd run with 3 races to go.
Yeah, so you don't need to watch the last 3. We fucking know.
But I was watching it because there's so much of this driver's going here, that driver's going there.
Is it on now?
Yeah, I could.
No, it's not started yet. But I was watching it to see why the teams were interested in certain drivers. So I was watching that.
Fair enough.
I wasn't watching it for the championship. I was watching it for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been very bored this month.
Clearly.
Ryan, anything good that you've watched or rewatched or
trying to think.
newly discovered?
Ghosts. I watched the BBC series Ghosts. I think I've nearly finished it. It's the people who originally did Horrible Histories. Like the whole gang created it. It's very funny.
It's good.
Essentially, it's a couple move into an old house, and it's filled with ghosts who have died there since like forever. Like there's a caveman, all the way up to like someone who died in like the 90s. Like there's a whole span of them.
Yeah.
And they've all been living there for how long they've been living there. And an old woman lived there and she died, and then her like great niece or some shit inherits the house, and they want to like turn it into a hotel. But at the end of the first episode, the female human falls out of a window and hits her head, and that enables her to see the ghost. So then it's about how they sort of like
coexist.
So coexist. It's good fun.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's good fun.
So you say it was? Is this? Said it was made by the Horrible Histories guys. Is it still
the cast?
Is it a children's story?
No, it's BBC. It's on. It's BBC Two. It's on like it was when it was on. It was on like prime time, BBC Two time.
Okay, so family show or just?
I'd say yeah. It's not like it's not swearing and stabbing each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a family show, but still, it's got dark elements. Given that it's a film about ghosts, it's got some sort of like one of the women, like every night she reenacts her death by falling out the window, like, and that's a contentious moment because the ghost who lives underneath is fed up with her screaming. Like, it's sort of that sort of nonsense. Okay. So yeah, it's good fun.
That's good. Cool. Did that only go on for the one series?
So far, it only came out. I think the first series was late last year. So I think.
Okay, so
they haven't had time to do a next one yet.
No, it's sort of everything's had to grind to a halt.
Yeah. So they may have been working on the second one. I don't know.
Yeah. So for the first time in my life, I watched Spirited Away.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's one of those sort of films that you do kind of enjoy it. I'll be honest.
It's a weird fucking film.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably have to watch it again, with like knowing what happens to try and understand why any of it mattered.
Yeah.
What version did you watch?
It feels like a child wrote it in the best possible way.
Yeah.
It just I'm sure there's something to the journey that is important, but I really couldn't put my
haven't quite got hold of it yet.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's fair enough.
What's the point of her undergoing any of this? I'm not seeing any character development, but it's probably sprinkled around there. Oh, it's a weird film.
It's a very. I think that's just because I think on a cultural level, storytelling is quite different.
Oh, definitely.
In Japanese culture, they tell stories in a very different way.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
sometimes
absolutely stunning. Love it.
Sometimes character development isn't actually shown through the character, but rather like
the world around them.
The world around the character, if that makes sense, which is interesting but different. So sometimes it can be hard to sort of get your head around.
Yeah, and also it was English dubbed, which is that's always gonna kick something.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't a bad dub, but
it's a bit weird. The voices are slightly off, I think.
Yeah, that can happen.
Mm.
But you sort of can't complain because most Hollywood films get very poor dubs in other languages. So we get most of it fine. So you sort of can't complain. But when one film from Japan comes over, it's a bad dub. But most countries suffer with this all the fucking time. So I find it hard to complain about bad dubs because we're privileged in that sense.
Yeah. That's probably the most interesting thing I've watched. Apart from that, I'm on series 9 of The Simpsons.
Nice. So working your way through it.
Soon I will be at the episodes that I've never seen before, and I'll be.
I'm trying to think what happens in series 9. Any episodes? Let's see if I can place it. Any like standout ones?
I judge it by which Halloween specials I've seen.
Okay.
I don't know. I've seen up to 10 and not beyond that.
So what's the 9 Halloween special? Have you got to it yet?
So the season 9 Halloween special is Halloween Special 8, which can get confusing. In that one, that's the one with where Marge is a witch.
Okay, yeah.
And they explain how trick-or-treating came around, which is quite clever.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I remember that one now.
I can't remember what the other two stories were, so it was a week Halloween special.
Yeah, he's always one. The first half is one story, the second half is two shorter ones.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
And there's always one that stands out to you and you forget the others.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you know what? The retelling of The Raven, I think, is still my favourite.
It's brilliant.
Simpsons horror moment.
Great.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Because it's not really played for comedy. A little bit. There's little bits.
There's sprinklings of it in, like...
Yeah.
Do really well is they tell the story of the Raven, and where they can put a Simpsons gag, they'll put it. Otherwise, they just leave it.
They just play it. Like the words is just the poem. They don't change.
The thing that makes me laugh most of all is just a moment when Homer just goes doll.
Yeah, it's
And it's just like
a reaction.
That's brilliant. And then gets on with it. Yeah. No, that's terrifying. That one. That genuinely scares me.
I've remembered other films I've watched.
Go on.
Beetlejuice.
Nice, good film.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, never seen that before.
What do you think? Good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah. Might watch it again.
Weird Tim Burton fun.
Yeah.
Might watch that Halloween again.
I remember when Tim Burton was fun.
Yeah, in those days when Tim Burton was sort of like weird and kooky. Now he's sort of a bit sad.
Like the last film of his that I think I actually fully enjoyed was Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
And most people don't like Mars Attacks.
I don't know. Mars Attacks is beautiful. It's a beautiful, chaotic mess.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
I also watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Bow.
I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah, we've done the exact thing where I actually made.
Because I was like, I can't get that song out of my head.
It's been such a long month of nothing. Where this month has dragged on.
Yeah.
I think I've just mainly been playing video games this month.
Yeah, same.
Haven't been Football Manager.
Well, apparently soon we can start easing off the lockdown. More
apparently.
So than we have already. But I mean, that was the plan that they laid out. Whether they follow through on that, really depends.
But we can ease out, but there's still nothing to do.
Yeah.
And just
like, sure, we can go outside and do stuff, but what? I can't do anything. So why go outside?
I can mingle with another household if I want.
Oh, brilliant! I don't do that before. Why do I do it now?
I think I've been outside 3 times this month.
Yeah.
Just to go and chill on some grass because it's like I just need to sit outside for like 10 minutes, be charged like Wally, and go. Can go back in for like another week.
I've been outside for 2 reasons. One, to go to a shop and buy all essential food. And the other time I went out was just the other day. I went out to my new house or my new flat to let the floor people in.
The floor people.
Yeah, they've laid new tiles on my floor. They ripped up the carpet and put a new floor in, which should be. And I don't know how it looks. Once they were done, they put the keys back through the letterbox, and now I don't know. Might be a good floor, might not.
Who knows?
Find
the
out.
History of David's floor.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to see what happens.
Yeah, but that's what's going on with me. I was very excited. I went on the train, everything.
Oh, on a train. How is trains at the moment? How are trains?
Yeah.
I imagine they're not.
Well, there are still quite a lot of them because I thought they were having a reduced service.
Yeah, like 1 an hour.
And it might be reduced, but no, there's like.
Well, through this line, there's quite. Even if it's reduced, this line's quite busy anyway, so it probably is reduced, just not.
Yeah, it took me half an hour to get from here to Hitchin to Biggleswade.
Okay. So, yeah, that seems about right. That seems about normal.
Yeah. And I could do that every half an hour.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
That's like I said, I don't notice that reduction.
I mean, that wouldn't get everyone on a rush hour morning, everyone to where they need to be, sure.
No.
But it does for now. It's fine.
The majority of people aren't commuting from Letchworth to Biggleswade. So And most of the time, I had carriage to myself.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's what the trains are like, in case you're wondering.
Train update.
Yeah.
For all you people curious, trains are still fine.
Wrap party transport.
Now to Ryan with the buses.
Yeah. How are the buses?
I haven't been on the bus.
You haven't taken a bus?
They're still running, though.
Don't need to.
Yeah. Sam, how are the aeroplanes?
Yeah, what are the planes like when your trips back and forth between the USA?
Yeah.
Well, I have to admit,
tell them about the ferries yet, but we'll
get onto that.
Have an update next week.
Yeah. When we do these, I have up a airplane tracker because if there's an emergency helicopter for the hospital, it lands comes in right over my my flat.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, well, if it comes over, I'll need to mute my mic. So I have that up. And then, because we're so close to London Luton, there's been like hardly any flights.
Yeah.
Like, however many hours I've been staring at this, there's been like hardly anything.
No.
Mainly just small little planes.
Private stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that can still happen. I assume private planes, if it's just you.
Branson getting to his island.
Yeah. But he can stay there for all I give a shit. Just fucking stay there and die. You bastard. Hot take on Richard Branson.
Talking of Richard Branson, Virgin Media's been shit.
Richard Branson?
No, Virgin Media.
Is it the pickle guy? He did the pickle.
Damn it. Yeah, like I was more worried I wouldn't be able to do this podcast because my internet has been.
Your internet shit again.
Oh, yeah. Thursday, I think it was down all day.
Wow.
It's been.
Mine's been patchier than normal, but I think that's just more use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My speeds are down, but I think that's because everyone's using the internet all the time. But other than that, I've been okay.
Yeah, mine's just been dropping out for like 10 hours at a time.
Like it's peak hours all day recently. Yeah. Like it's never not peak hours.
Sam, are you using their cabled one or their?
Yeah, are you Etherneted or are you wired?
Fiber to
the fiber. Yeah,
flat.
That's what I meant.
Yes,
Fiber.
Direct.
They're super fast one.
Yeah. So, and they even
speeds in the country. Yeah.
Last month they came out and tried fixing it and everything, and they seem to have fixed it. But then, I think they're just getting overrun there, and like it's not my end anymore. We've got brand new everything pretty much here now, so it's just there.
What is this?
Changes. Oh, there's a light.
What is that?
That's the Virgin light. That is.
Oh, it's a reflection. It's a reflection off of like someone's. There's a car right there, so it's a reflection of a rear brake light. I think, in the sun. Yeah, it is. Okay. I thought the world was on fire.
Yeah. It's the sign.
At this point, that would be an improvement, Ryan.
Yeah, true.
The child will be born.
Brilliant.
Right.
I think that about does it.
I think so.
Yeah, for the wrap up. Hasn't been much to wrap up, but hopefully.
No, it's been nice to catch up.
I think it's nice
to wrap up, catch up.
It's good for everyone to hear from us. And, there's been a bit to talk about. We've watched a bit of TV.
Yeah.
There have been films.
There have been.
It's a bit about what we're looking forward to. What are we looking forward to apart from Tenet? Any other films?
Well, I was looking forward to Black Widow and James Bond, but they're going to happen eventually.
That's November now.
Yeah. November's going to be busy.
November.
Usually November's pretty dead.
Yeah, well, from sort of November onwards, that's when all the new release dates are. So
yeah, because usually
it's going to be
October has a few horror films. November sort of Frozen was last year. Maybe one like Thanksgiving. Usually one kids film comes out.
Yeah.
Although it's not Thanksgiving here, it does in America. Mm-hmm. So we get Frozen or whatever, and November's usually dead.
Yeah.
And then December happens.
Not anymore.
So, but this year it's going to be opposite.
We got James Bond, and then the week afterwards, Black Widow.
I think the only film I'm really looking forward to is Dune.
Oh, and Dune, yeah. That's coming out similar time, isn't it? Later this year.
Yep, December.
Yeah.
I think it's December.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy couple of months. You know what? I got a card that allows me to see things at a particular chain. I'm not going to divulge which one. It could be any. I got that just before this happened, so I've not used it. I used it once. But thankfully, I'm not paying for it.
Are you getting a refund, or they like?
They're not charging.
They're not charging you for that.
They charged me for March because, like, most of March you could go to a cinema. Yeah. Not all of March, but most of it. So I was like, that's fair. I did see a film in March. I'll pay for that. That's fine. But since then, I've not paid.
Okay.
Which is good.
I ended my card, but then they sent me on the year date the better card. So I'm still a bit worried they might charge me when they go back to charging people.
As far as I'm aware, when it goes back to charging, they're not going to charge for the month's miss. They're just going to just keep charging.
I cancelled it, and then like 2 weeks later, it all went to shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got lost in the.
But it'll be worth it. Having that card when it comes around to everything open up again. I think that card will pay for itself because there's going to be so much to see that it's going to be like great. Yeah. I'm going to be doing at least 2 a month easy.
At different cinemas and.
Yeah, cinema chains are available. There's loads. In fact, there's not many in this country. It's only 3 chains.
Loads of independent cinemas.
There are loads of independent cinemas in various towns around the UK.
Yeah,
just try to support them.
Yeah,
I mean they need your support more than the.
They definitely do.
Actually,
but it's not as convenient, is it?
Well, it depends where you live.
True.
If it's right next door, then go for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The larger ones are generally better for like.
There's more films on more time.
There's more.
That's
there's
the point.
More variety.
Yeah.
I think, and that's where they get you because it's like, oh, we'll go there. There'll be something.
Yeah, you can just turn up at any time and be like, there'll be something on.
Yeah. Whereas you actually have to think ahead if you're going to an independent one.
You're like, you need to go at that time for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if Frozen, like when Frozen 2 was released, there's one every half an hour.
Yeah.
At your multiplex.
Yeah, little indies.
Yeah, but still go out there if there's a film you want to see that's in a. Speaking of, there's going to be in July. There's 2 weeks of drive-in cinema at Knebworth House.
Oh, what are they showing?
A real mix of stuff, newer stuff, older stuff. There's one on every night for 2 weeks. I think every afternoon and night for 2 weeks.
That's good. I mean, if I drove, that'd be brilliant.
That's the thing you do. The car is required.
I sort of have to. I would love to trundle up there in my little tykes, red and white, red and yellow. I'm just moving my feet along the ground to propel myself forward.
Yeah, because in America, the drive-in, because they're more prevalent in America, they actually have. We don't have drive-in cinemas. We make them.
Yeah, they've done business in America with drive-ins.
Yeah, that's like how any film's been making any sort of money in America is down to that. Although not a lot.
No, I think a few of them closed as well, don't they?
Yeah, some of them did, depending on the state and stuff, but that's a whole different thing. But so I think they're trying that here. They're going to try and give entertainment via drive-in cinemas. That's the plan, anyway. So yeah, and I think they're all around the country. If you look up where you are, wherever you are,
yeah, I mean,
there might be a pop-up drive-in cinema near you.
Yeah.
No, it's good. That's good. And it's proof that no matter what happens,
there's a way around it.
Yeah, it will still be entertainment. Will still be around
if you build it. They will come.
Yeah, exactly. So you better actually go to it when they build.
I think there's a few on there that they're doing like some old 80s stuff, like I think Dirty Dancing and stuff like that. But then also like I think Joker's being shown as well. So there's a real
Joker's drive-in actually.
Yeah, there's a real mix of stuff which is good. So. No. I probably will end up going to one at least.
Yeah. All right, good.
Lovely.
That about does it.
Yeah.
That's from us. Wrap Party says hello.
Yeah, pretty much.
Next week.
Who knows?
I'm sure we can come up with a top 5.
We'll do, top 5 maybe.
Let's do a top 5.
Yeah, we'll do a top 5.
You've heard it here first.
We've done it now.
You know what? That's as much planning as we normally give.
That's true.
We might as well do it on the show.
That's more planning than normal.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know what top 5, but it will be a top 5.
Oh yeah, we'll think of something. We can't possibly have exhausted the supply of lists already.
Not quite yet. We're close.
All right. Yeah, that'll do then. Thanks very much for tuning in once again, guys. And we shall see you all next week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of whatever we've been doing here at Rap Party HQ. We'd like to thank Sam Sargent for supplying the score. To hear the full tracks and more music of the same ilk, feel free to head to soundcloud.com/Sam Sargent and tell him Rap Party sent you, preferably not at gunpoint. While on the internet, it'd help us out if you liked us on Facebook, followed us on Twitter, and kept an eye out for further episodes. Thanks once again for listening, and that's a wrap.